Hi, I'm Ultra Face under the Wild Team, the Wolf Pack. Today, we're going to talk about Samhain and winter findings. What's the difference, and why is Samhain a little more popular in the States? At least from my observation, anyways. So, grab yourself a drink, and let's enjoy this one. So, as you may see, up here where I'm from in Alaska, it be snowing. A lot of white stuff. Seasons are changing. We're getting to the colder months. We're getting to the part where a lot more holidays coming around. You know, Thanksgiving, Halloween, Christmas, as far as our side of the pond goes. And, of course, the pagan and Norse equivalent being Samhain, winter finding, and Yule, and things like that. Now, the main difference between Samhain and winter findings is more or less origin, but there's actually some other things I want to talk to you about what that is. So, Samhain is Celtic. Think of the Irish. Specifically the Irish, actually. It's when the veil is the thinnest from our world to the land of the dead in their eyes. They would also have giant bonfires, they would light torches, and they would dress in costumes. For those who are coming from the land of the dead into our realm, they want to scare them or alert them that they're actually in the land of the living. And it was more a way to actually celebrate the ancestors and be with the ancestors and such. It is more considered a ritual than an actual holiday in some eyes and some circles. Now, in the Western view, an American view, if you will, it's kind of more of a holiday. It's more the pagan Halloween, if you will. And I'll get more into it later. But at the end of the day, it is ancestral veneration. Now, as far as I understand, again, as far as I understand, in some research I did, Samhain has ties with Daga the Morgan going to Newgrange and actually linking up. Now, granted, there's probably a lot more to it than that, but this is kind of the short and sweet of things. But again, it's ancestral veneration, giant bonfires, and coming together with ancestors and what have you. Now, the north side of the house will be winter findings, or winter felith, or vatinata. And these are pretty much the same thing. This is more the Anglo-Saxon or even the north side of the house. It's winter nights. Winter nights being when the veil's the thinnest from our world to the land of the dead, for us to be Helheim. And this is also where some people will say the wild hunt begins, where Odin and the righteous hunt go out and hunt the devious souls that would actually harm humanity in Midgard and stuff. You know, Odin, Thor, and the like would actually be hunting, and we would be in our homes where it's all cold out, and then we away from the actual hunt itself. Now, there's still a part of ancestral veneration for the north side of the house. Excuse me. Some will actually say that this is when you celebrate a Disablat, or a blot for the Desir. And for those who don't know what that is, these are our female ancestors. These are our mothers, our grandmothers, our great-grandmothers, and so on and so forth. And you do a blot for them. The Desir, or our female ancestors, are the ones who protect our family lines, spiritually speaking, that is. And of course, the other side would say this is when you do your Alpha blot, which is for the Alfar. These are the male ancestors, our fathers, our great-grandfathers, and so on and so forth. These are the ancestors who protect our land. Some say you do one or the other. Some will actually offer saying that Disablat is done at the very beginning of Yule or towards the end of Yule. That kind of depends on who you talk to and what have you. Now, the Alpha blot, some people will actually say, they don't really quite say that's actually when you do a Alpha blot, but some people say it's during that time or some other time. I personally do it during this time. I personally do a Disablat and an Alpha blot during winter nights. Now, another main difference from Samhain and winter nights, where Samhain is more based on the sun wheel or the sun cycle, where winter nights is more the moon cycle. Little nuances there. So, first full moon of October is usually when you do winter nights. Samhain is generally speaking at the end of October. Now, granted, I think most people in America, anyways, kind of do more towards the end of October, towards Halloween, anyways, because we already kind of used to celebrate Halloween as it is. Again, more on that later. So, with that being said, at the general speaking of it, it is ancestral veneration. So, pretty similar in a lot of ways. Now, my thing is, I kind of noticed, and then this is my notice, that in the American side of the house, Samhain becomes a little more popular than, say, winter findings. Now, some people say that's ignorance, and that very much could be. Some people may not know what winter findings actually is. Actually, no, correction, winter nights. Winter Findings is actually a little earlier. That's in September. So don't confuse Winter Findings and Winter Nights. Winter Findings is second harvest. Winter Nights is final harvest. Or Freyfaxi is first harvest. Now you know. But with that being said, though, why would it be more popular to celebrate Samhain, at least from my experience, from what I've seen, than Winter Nights? Going with it again, I think there is some ignorance of not knowing what Winter Nights is, or the belief that Samhain is actually Norse, when it actually is not. Now, granted, I personally celebrate both. That's just me. You do what you will. But I also feel that because of Halloween, because Ireland gave us Halloween, so thank you, Ireland. That was really cool. Where Samhain is actually, kind of the granddaddy of Halloween, if you will. Because, having the costumes and the trick-or-treating kind of deal and the fires and whatnot. But in Winter Nights, you also do ancestral veneration and bonfires as well. So what's really the main difference? I mean, there's definitely some difference between the two. Obviously, some different deities are venerated, and the methods of it are as well. Now, granted, how I've always celebrated Samhain was always having an ancestral dinner. Having a dish that represents your ancestors itself. Because we remember what our ancestors did, what they actually went through, even the ones that we don't know their names or understand who they truly were. We have like a dish and actually remember what, we can't connect them in that sense or another. We invite them to dinner. So Halloween would kind of be one of the big reasons why Samhain might be a little bit more popular here in the States. But that's just my observation. Now, what if you are a person who wants to celebrate Samhain or Winter Nights, but you don't really quite know which one you want to celebrate? I personally have celebrated Samhain longer than Winter Nights, but that's just kind of how I felt is kind of more the way I kind of went with things. They're very similar, but they all have their own uniqueness. Usually, mainly, more or less, it's when they're celebrated and who you venerate during that time, deity-wise. But I always venerate the Alpha and the Seer during actual Winter Nights when I do that. Now, with that being said, there's many, many ways to actually do ritual-wise for the actual Samhain or Winter Nights. But one of the things actually I want to make point of is, let's talk about how, as winter is coming, as it's coming down on my head right now in Alaska, that winter, well, it's here already. Everywhere else, it's coming. The winter holidays can be very, very lonesome. So I challenge you pagans and heathens out there who are watching this, and you're planning on having a Samhain or winter finding or Winter Nights. I keep saying winter findings, I don't know why. You have an event at your house or someplace, and if you know someone who may not have anywhere to celebrate, invite them in. Bring them in. Bring them into your circles. These holidays, these cold weather times can be actually very tough. Our ancestors knew that, and they actually brought the community in to make sure they were taken care of. Our ancestors would have done the same. So let's bring those in, especially when it's cold out. Also, our military people, bring those guys in too, because those single soldiers in the barracks, especially during come Yule time or even Samhain or even Thanksgiving, they kind of need a place to go. So let's bring them in though. But of course, if you're one of those people that doesn't have anywhere to go but don't really know how to find a place, try to reach out. Don't be in your lonesome by yourself. Don't be doing that. But this is kind of short and dirty down video of what between Samhain and Winter Findings is, and kind of just my little 2 cents on it. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoy your Samhain, your Winter Findings, and I hope this winter isn't too harsh on you. Let's go.